We began this Lenten season with a visible reminder of our mortality traced on our foreheads. In this Lent, perhaps more than ever, we have felt our vulnerability. Somehow, we have managed to learn to live with the constant, yet infrequently mentioned, threat of nuclear weapons. We've learned to live with and even drag our feet in response to the crisis of climate change, despite the suffering it's already produced and the certainty of worse ahead. And as if we didn't have enough reminders of our vulnerability, we face the confusion and fear related to the coronavirus pandemic and the uncertainty of how long this will last and how many more will be affected. Maybe like the Israelites who had been delivered from slavery in Egypt and still questioned the Lord, "Are you with us or not? Why did you leave us here to die of thirst?" We might question, why does the Lord allow this? Of course, we must come together in prayer, but in the current circumstances, our coming together is better expressed spiritually, in a spiritual way than in a physical way. It's a strange position to be in as your pastor, encouraging you not to come to church and hoping for lower attendance at Mass. I hope and pray that I'm never in this position again, because nothing about it seems right. Yet we know that our faith teaches us the importance of the common good, and we don't want to be contributing to the spread of a virus so dangerous to the well-being of the population. In fact, at any time, we may have to suspend all of our liturgies. So this Lent, we will have to be creative about how we form community, and we'll have to be patient as we are inconvenienced and as we are asked to do things outside of our routine. In all likelihood, our celebration of Holy Week and the Easter Triduum will be quite different than our usual experience. With kids home from school, events and gatherings canceled, and all kinds of interruptions to our normally busy lives, I hope that one possible outcome this Lent could be a strengthening of the domestic church, that is, the family. Can we use this opportunity to pray together as a family, to read the scriptures for Sunday or even for each day of Lent as a family, and discuss what they mean to us, how to apply them here and now, in our homes, in our world? Can we dedicate more time to real conversation with each other, more listening to each other, instead of our constant distractions with phones and electronic devices? As we pray fervently for all affected by this virus, and as we pray for our protection and the protection of others, it can certainly be an opportunity to reflect on all that we so easily take for granted and raise a prayer of thanksgiving. Is God in our midst or not? Our answer has to be a resounding yes, he is. The gospel today tells the story of Jesus' encounter with a Samaritan woman. Now, because it comes from John's gospel, we know that we must read or listen very carefully, because there's always more going on than just the elements of the story. On its surface, it is noon, the heat of the day, and Jesus takes a rest and comes across a well and a woman drawing water there, and he asks for a drink. Nothing too dramatic there. But John also tells us that well has religious and historic significance in the history of Israel, and that the woman is a Samaritan. The woman is startled by Jesus' simple request for a drink of water, and of course, she does not yet realize her own thirst for the life that only Jesus can offer her. She protests Jesus' scandalous behavior, speaking alone and directly to a woman, which was not at all responsible or normal at that time, and suggesting or implying that he would drink from her vessels since he didn't bring his own. He violates two boundaries: the boundary between the sexes and the boundary between Jews and Samaritans. But he really wants to offer her the life-giving water of faith, the life-giving water of his Spirit, the life-giving water of being with him, the life-giving water that is available to all who believe. Another hint of the awkwardness of the situation is how the disciples have left the scene and gone to buy food, and when they return are somewhat embarrassed to witness this conversation, which has all the appearances of being inappropriate at multiple levels. While they were gone, Jesus asked the woman to bring her husband, but revealed to her surprise that he knew her marital history, and as she put it, everything I have ever done. She asks Jesus about a running controversy between the Jews and the Samaritans. Where should we worship, on this mountain or in Jerusalem? It's not so much the place, Jesus responds, but that we worship God in spirit and in truth. Maybe those words are words that will have to resonate with us during this Lent and as we approach Holy Week. It's not just where we worship, but that we worship in spirit and truth. Those words take on a new significance. From her encounter with Jesus, Jesus who knows her story and invites her to a deeper faith, who knows her history and loves her anyway, who knows her past and invites her to a relationship with himself, that woman is transformed and she becomes an evangelizer. She runs from that encounter and tells everyone about this man she has met, this Jew she has met, this prophet she has met. What she does is what we are all encouraged to do in a missionary church, to share our encounter with Christ and be eager to tell others about what his presence, his love, his grace, his mercy means in our lives. She discovered that living water doesn't require a pail or a bucket. Living water wells up from within those who have encountered Christ. Our elect here at Christ the King and throughout the diocese have experienced both their own thirst for faith and for the presence of God and the living water that Christ provides. They're preparing for the night when they will be bathed in living water, when they will die and rise with Christ in baptism. We pray in gratitude for their presence, and we pray for their perseverance on the road of discipleship as we accept the invitation anew to live this discipleship ourselves and to be open to the refreshment of that living water. May we discover anew the one who knows us best and invites us to deeper intimacy with himself. May this Lent, with sacrifices we did not choose, lead us to a deeper faith and a deeper discovery of those living waters which truly satisfy, and the source of that water, our rock who sustains us.